Trish, and you're at Trish's Creative Treasures. So today, I'm coming at you with not a craft, but a recipe. Especially if you have large amounts of hard-boiled eggs from kids coloring them or whatever. I think your red beet eggs are more of a common pickled eggs, but we're going to do a golden pickled egg today. And what that consists of is any type of jars you want. I use mason jars, so these are half gallons. So I'm going to put in each of my half gallons some Vidalia onion, some garlic cloves, and if my phone is shaking, I apologize because that's my cat's, because I have you all sitting on top of boxes right now with a bottle of coffee flavoring to hold my phone up. Redneck ingenuity. That's what we do around here. So yeah, we're going to do golden eggs. So my 17-year-old daughter wanted to paint eggs, and Jim's youngest, I think she's 19, wanted to paint eggs. So Tiana's friend Abraham was over yesterday, spent the day here with us, and then Raven's fiance, they kind of went up and painted eggs and had fun, and so I bought them each a dozen and a half, so I have a dozen and a half for a dozen and a half eggs. So that's, you do the math, I don't want to do the math. So okay, right here for two I have 3 dozen, so that's why I'm going to do a dozen and a half in each jar. So yeah, so I figured I would just bring you along for the ride. So what I've been doing so far is just peeling this garlic, which garlic peeling is a real pain in the butt, but the taste is wonderful, so it kind of makes it all well worth it. I don't know about you all, but there's never a thing as too much garlic in my food. I love garlic. I don't like raw onions. I like sauteed onions. I can't eat raw onions in a salad or sandwich or anything like that. That's just too much for my mouth. But yeah, I like them in food. Like when I was younger, you would have never caught me having onions in anything. You know, I like them caramelized my whole life, because of course when they get caramelized, they're sweet. But as I'm getting older, I'm learning to cook a lot more. I cook a lot with a lot of onions. So put onions in a lot of things, which I have to put in big chunks. Well, my two at home yet, Tiana and Draken, they don't mind the onion. Kira likes onion. Odessa will not touch anything that has onions in it, peppers in it, or like mushrooms. I won't do mushrooms either. Sorry, the babies are behind me going, meow. If you hear this, meow, that is Miss Saphira talking to her little ones. She, like, my cat literally talks. You know, it's like in chirpings, but she'll talk. Like my kids are like, because she's always been upstairs with me, so since I'm down here, like, she's around them more, and they're watching how she does things, so they're like, does she talk, Mom? And I'm like, yes, she does. Always has. So yeah, my mouth gets really dry, guys, so just bear with me. All right, so let's get these. While I cut and peel these, yeah, what do you want to call them? Garlic. We can just chat. How have you all been? What are you all working on? Are you busy cooking, making desserts, food for tomorrow? Do you cook? Do you go out? What do you guys do? Like, what are your Easter traditions? Us has always been, for years, before I married Draken's father, always would go to my mom's house for Easter. My mom would always have Easter Sunday going. And then back then when we went to my mom's, we didn't really do Easter egg hunts at their place, which we could have, because my mom and dad have like tons of land. But just, I think at first when we lived there, like when I was going through divorce and stuff, of course I did Easter egg hunts there with my kids, because I only had Odessa and Kira, and they were little at that point in time. But as my kids got older and I got my own apartment, blah, 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 we started going to, in our community, well, back when Odessa and Kira were little, I mean, every organization, every store, every did Easter egg hunts at different times. Now it's down to just a couple organizations that really, last year we took the kids to, and it was like over in 5 minutes. So, and then none of our kids really got anything because they just didn't get anything. But now we always do, since we have tons of land here and we have the woods, we still do egg hunts. We hide the eggs for the teenagers in the woods. So the guys, when they go and hide the eggs, they have to actually remember where they put them, because we don't always get the eggs back. But we want to use like Jim thought that we were going to hunt with these eggs that the girls and the guys did last night. And I'm like, no, we're not putting them, excuse me, in an egg hunt. It's, I'm going to make pickled eggs with them. And he's like, really? Well, how is that a waste? How is that a waste? I'm still using the eggs. But he thought that they were going to go in an Easter egg hunt. No, they're going in an egg hunt tomorrow. I mean, they're going to make these eggs for us. And then I may make some more. I don't know, like these eggs here that I'm making, they can stay in your fridge good up to 6 months, maybe even a year. They ferment really well and they hold as long as they stay in the fridge. The red beet eggs, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long they hold, because it's also like another food in there because you're putting beets with them. So it depends on how long the beets last, because my brine for my red beet eggs is equal parts of juice, the beet juice, and vinegar. And I have made it that it's 1 cup of beet juice. And if you don't get 1 cup out of your can of your beets, then you add water to make it 1 cup. So it's 1 cup of beet juice and 1 cup of vinegar per dozen eggs. And then you add about 3/4 cup of sugar. You can add more or less depending on how sweet you like it. And then you put in about a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of cloves. And you shake that all up. And then you put your eggs in first. And then you put the beets on top to hold the eggs down in the brine. And when you put them in the fridge, within 24 hours, you can eat them already. Like that juice, just like it really soaked up into the egg. Whereas these golden eggs, it takes a good 3-4 weeks in the fridge of these sitting to get the full fermentation of it, to have the full taste of the pickled eggs. So I did make these last year and I never got to taste them. They were that good, I guess, because when I pulled the jar out the one day for everybody to try them, they were gone. And that was about 3 dozen of them. Yep. Remember, we're all just sitting out back. Instead of passing around the jars of alcohol, we were passing the jars of my pickled eggs. So, and everybody was just sitting there, just chowing down on eggs. And, well, there went that. I never even got to try my golden eggs. Which, Jim said he didn't even get to try them either. He's, Draken can vouch that they're delicious. And my friend, well, Jim's sister, Crystal, she's like, those are banging. So, yeah, she's ready to eat some of these when they're done. But they're so simple to make. And if you are, if you have chickens and you get eggs, or, it's just a way to preserve your eggs, as well as a way to use up Easter eggs. So my favorite is red beet eggs. Like I said, I haven't tried these yet, but from what I've been told, or from what I've watched, other homesteaders that make these, say how just absolutely divine and delicious they are. So I will look forward to being able to try these. Probably by the time I get around to trying them, I might be able to, well, I should be, because I have to go. Yesterday was 1 week drinking all liquids. And I have to go till next Friday drinking all liquids. So we will see how these all liquids go. I mean, it's going fine. I am waiting for the all liquids to be done, so that way I can go on to pureed foods. So while everybody else is going to enjoy what they're going to get for Easter dinner, I'm also going to make myself, because I can't eat per se the solids in the soup, but I'm going to make me a pot of ham and bean soups, which is just, I take some white beans and I put a ham in there. I cut up a ham steak usually. And I try to trim off as much fat as I can, especially now because I can't have the fat. My body can't digest it. So it's a ham steak, the white navy beans or northern beans, whatever you have. And then I add water to it. I add some carrots to it. And I add onions to it. And I just let that sucker cook for a few hours on like a medium heat. And then I can have the broth of that for Easter Sunday, so I'll still feel like I'm getting a taste of ham and stuff, but I'm going to actually, because the sweet potato casserole is one of my favorites, but I'm going to make that for everybody with like regular brown sugar and butter and all that, the way that, you know, the real good, unhealthy way of eating it, you know, the sweet, because then I bake the marshmallows on mine. So yeah, they'll have that in the green bean casserole, which I have to make a shit ton of that because Tiana is a fan, and that's her favorite thing. She looks forward to every holiday to get green bean casserole. Did I say how much I hate peeling garlic cloves? Holy moly, these are a pain in the butt. Sophia, what are you doing? Oh, some babies are down on the floor. It would be Floki and Lagertha because those two are the ones that are really on the move. Siggy and Ragna are on the move too. If I can get them to come over here to me. But they're eating right now with Mama, so we can get them to come over. Then I'll show you them. I don't know if you can hear them. That's little Miss Saphira doing her little cooing at them and stuff. She's a really good mama. She's always, like, she'll come out here and sit, but she doesn't go too far where she can't, like, hear them or see them. And, like, sometimes if she goes upstairs and she comes back down, she'll come back over and check. If they're not there, she'll come jump up on me and she just says a certain meow that I know that she's looking for her babies. So I help her find them, and then she's happy to go. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is my last piece of garlic I need to do. Thank goodness. So I've got 5. I mean, you can do more or less of garlic cloves. I just like a lot of garlic. The recipe that I got this from only called for 1 clove of garlic, but hey, go big or go home. And I'm like, when it comes to garlic, it's go big. So here we go, guys. The fun part. Onions. I don't have my goggles at reach. So, as you saw, oh no, if you're not on my Facebook, you didn't see that, I don't think. When I cut onions, I'll put goggles on. The goggles keep the onions from burning your eyes. It keeps you from almost cutting yourself because you can't see a darn thing while you're trying to chop your onions. So these are Vidalias, so I hope that means that they will be not too bad to have to cut up. Oh, they're pretty strong. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, these are some strong onions. They're supposed to be like the sweet ones. Alright, well, I'm just going to chop them up and put them in my jar. They don't have to be diced small or anything. They're just going in there for flavor. Ooh, thank God I had some nail on my thumb because I just cut my thumbnail off. The tip of it, like the actual nail part. Not my finger, but the nail. You know what I mean. So there goes half of 1 onion in there. I'm just trying to get it in there really quick. I'm thinking that might be enough onion. I think just a half one, because this is a decent sized onion too, so put half an onion in there, because the onion will break down in the vinegar, and it's just all, sorry, I'm shaking the table. Alright, I'm going to put the other half of the onion. Woo, I did that just in time, because my eyes are starting to get on fire. Holy moly, guys. That's some strong onion. Alright, so the next thing we're going to add is just a little bit of cayenne pepper. Just a little bit. My eyes are on fire, guys. It's like hitting me all of a sudden. Whew. And then I buy lots of turmeric in the bigger containers because turmeric is very good for you, especially if you have autoimmune issues or if you have the swollen inflammation of joints, skin, anywhere in your body. This really helps with inflammation. I tried the one time I got these in a gel cap form thinking, okay, I'm going to try it before I started taking pain meds for all of my issues back some 10 years ago that I've been having issues with my legs and stuff due to car accident. I tried taking turmeric in pill form, but it made my tongue and lips swell a little bit, which scared me because I already had like a really bad anaphylactic thing with taking, that's how we found out I'm now allergic to penicillin and moxis, anything in the psyllin family. I can't even get it on my skin. If I get it on my skin swells. And it's weird. I mean, I know they say your body changes every so many years, but man, oh man, I had the flu that year. I remember having the flu and I had been out of work like 2 weeks. And after the flu came freaking bronchitis. First time I remember having bronchitis. And it sucked, guys. I mean, it's not supposed to be fun, but it was so bad, the coughing. So I went to the doctor and they gave me amoxicillin. Within 5 minutes of taking the amoxicillin, I started feeling itchy all over. I'm like, what the heck? And I started feeling like my fingers start swelling. And all of a sudden, I started feeling my lips swelling. And then I went in the bathroom, and I'm like, I swear to God, I looked like the Nutty Professor. My lips were like... And then my tongue started to swell. I'm on the phone with my mom and my sister, and they're like, call an ambulance. My mom flew over to my house so someone could watch the kids, you know, and then I had to go by ambulance. Like, thank God they got there as fast as they did, because I was like... That's all I had, just like that tiny bit that I could breathe. And it's like once I got that EpiPen in me, that opened it up. But they took me to the hospital anyways. All right, guys, I'm going to put some turmeric in my jars. And the turmeric is what gives your eggs that beautiful golden color. It's why they're called golden eggs. Sorry, my face is covered, guys. I'm back. But yeah, anyways, when I got to the hospital, they filled my IV. They gave me stuff to help take away the itch and to take the swelling down. And I was in there for a few hours getting them IVs, and then they sent me home. But, yeah. No bueno. So, yeah, getting that scare of my tongue swelling and my lip swelling was like, yeah, I'm not going to take these. But I can eat it in food. I put it in my spaghetti sauce. I put it in anything that, you know, you can add it to. Sometimes I put it in like a rice to give it like that golden color. And I really add it in wherever I can just to get the nutrients of turmeric in my body. So as I'm saying, do your own studies, look it up. I'm no doctor. I'm only telling you what works with me. But if you look up the health benefits of turmeric, you will be like, wow. So do your own research. Get some turmeric and just start adding it into food, because it either enhances the color or it makes it a pretty yellow color, or if the color don't matter, it's just, it makes you feel better. It really does. I add turmeric at least once a day into everything. So yeah, I use a lot of turmeric. All right, guys. So far in each jar, I have my garlic cloves, my onions, the turmeric, and the, onions. So you can add a little salt if you want to, but I don't have any right here. Like, you can't use regular iodized salt when you do anything that's fermenting or canning. You always have to use like the pink Himalayan sea salt or kosher salt or the canning salt. So yes, something in table salt, I think it's the iodine. Something in table salt just does not go well with fermenting and canning. And I believe my actual good salt, because we ate outside yesterday, probably got left outside where we were eating. So I am going to peel these eggs because I got 3 dozen eggs to peel and they're pretty hard. So I'm going to peel these eggs and I will be back with you when I have them on my jars before I fill up with vinegar so you can see how pretty these turn out. I'll be back. It'll be a second for you, but it might be an hour or so for me till I peel all these eggs. All right, guys. I'll be back. Love yous. Hey, guys, I'm back. I just finished peeling a bunch of eggs. They were the worst bit of eggs to ever peel. I had so many little eggshells get stuck underneath my thumbnail, and my thumb hurts so bad right now. But here is our finished product. You just got to keep shaking them until everything kind of like marries together, because the seasonings, the turmeric and the cayenne pepper, like to sink to the bottom. So yep, I just have these here shaking. Now this jar here, I got 22 eggs in. So I need to get more eggs when Jim gets home because I only have maybe 14. I think I have I have 16 eggs in here. So I need about 8 to 10 more to squeeze in this jar. So, which I'm hoping doesn't overflow my brine. I think I put too much brine in here, but that's okay, because the one that was full, I put in as much as I did here, but the eggs kind of like, every time I'd shake it, sit it down, then the, you know, the fluid would go down because it's getting in between everything. So yeah. So, golden eggs, just to recap. Mason jar or pickle jars, whatever jar, whatever container you want to use. You can even use plastic containers as long as it's got a lid and you can go in the fridge. You need your hard-boiled eggs. So like I said, I did half-gallon jar and I was able to fit 22 in there with a half an onion, which it was a big Vidalia onion I cut in half. So one jar got half, the other one got half. I put 5 cloves of garlic in each jar. And I put like, I don't know. I don't ever measure. I'm not one of them people that cook and measure. I am one of those people that just eyeball it. And because one says just a little bit, I usually end up liking more. So I have more turmeric in there. Like, it originally was just supposed to be like a teaspoon of turmeric and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. But I put more, probably like, I don't know. I just kind of dump some in there and hope for the best because that's how I roll, guys. They always taste good. It's the same way when I make my red beet eggs, even though I don't follow measurements. When I do, to a point, because I'm so used to cooking. Once you get so old, you can eyeball that stuff. And I'm sure everybody of you that are like up in my age and have done a lot of cooking and stuff in your life, you know, eyeballing it works just as well as following a recipe and using all your measuring cups and spoons and stuff. So yeah, these are going to go in my fridge. And in a couple weeks, the eggs will be yellow. And they will taste delicious. So, this is my video on how to make wonderful golden eggs. And it's a way to help preserve eggs. I will put, you know, the ingredients in the description box below. All right, you fill up your jar with vinegar then. White vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. Whichever vinegar you like to use more, use it. I don't really like apple cider vinegar. It smells like stinky feet. And I don't know, it's just something about it that, you know, I just can't tolerate apple cider vinegar, guys. Sorry. But, yeah, it is simple. Red beet eggs. My recipe, like I said, it's 1 cup of juice, 1 cup of vinegar. If the beet juice does not give you a full cup, you put enough water in on top of that to be able to give you a full cup. And that is per dozen of eggs. So if I'm doing 2 dozen of eggs, I do 2 cups of juice, 2 cups of vinegar, and so on. And then you just add a dash of salt, and about 3/4 cup of sugar, more or less. Now me, I use Splenda because I can eat eggs eventually. So that I could eat them, I use Splenda as the sweetener. And everybody else is getting the Splenda because I'm not making a whole bunch of eggs for them, then eggs for, no. Even Jim agreed the Splenda, it'll sweeten it and they're not even going to know the difference. So it's, yeah, red beet eggs makes 1 cup of beet juice with water if need be, 1 cup of vinegar, a 3/4 cup of sugar, a big pinch of Himalayan or kosher salt or canning salt, not table salt. And then you take and dump some cinnamon in there, you dump some cloves in there. Now this time I'm out of ground cloves, so I had to use my whole cloves, which will work the same. So I put some ground cinnamon in there, and I put like a half a handful of cloves in there because I love cloves. The more stronger of a taste of cloves, the better I think it is. Like something about that spice with the cinnamon and cloves and the vinegar and the sugar, it just makes an all-around delicious egg, and the beets too. So yeah, simple as that, guys. Red beet eggs are done in 24 hours and are ready to eat. These will take a few weeks in your refrigerator for them to fully develop the on taste of everything you just put in there. For some reason, it just takes longer with this one, I guess, than the red beet ones. So I hope this was something that you all enjoy. I hope you make it. If you're going to make it or you do make it, let me know how you liked it if you've never had these before. So this is about all I have to say right now. It's a decent enough it is a decent enough of a length just for some eggs. So I hope you all have a great night and a very happy Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter. We don't the religious part of it in our house, but we do like the Easter bunny, baskets. They do eggs, and they know that spring has come back. I mean, the world is coming back to life. I mean, in our religion, that's what we celebrate as life, and that the Oak King has come, and he's put life back into everything, and everything's green and budding, and the spring flowers are up and looking gorgeous. So, yeah, we celebrate the life of the earth and new life of animals coming, because this is usually when the babies are born. We got breeding time usually in the fall and birth in the spring to summer. So, yeah. All right, guys. I love y'all, and y'all have a great night. Bye.